Hey guys, and welcome back to 100 Lit. I'm your host, Queen J, and I hope you're having a great day, good evening, wonderful start to your weekend wherever you are. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, it is finally cold outside. Everything makes sense now. And Halloween is just around the corner. Now, I don't know about you, but I love this season so much. Not just for the pumpkin flavor everything, but mainly because there's nothing like a cup of tea, your favorite blanket, and a spooky read. So, today I'll be talking about 5 books you might want to check out this Halloween if you haven't already. Now, I'm sure you have your favorites. This list is just some of my personal favorites, as well as some that I have or would like to check out. So, let's get started. Number 5, Coraline by Neil Gaiman. Now, whether you watched the movie or read the book or both, I'm sure most of you know this one. Coraline Jones finds a door in her house that leads to a world that is too good to be true. I watched the movie, I read the book, and both are fantastic and very scary. But literature-wise, it is the perfect choice for Halloween. The imagery is rich and dark and vivid, more so than the movie, actually. It doesn't just tell you, but it also shows you that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Number 4, Gerald's Game by Stephen King. Now this one is one of my favorites because Stephen King does so much with 2 characters and one central location. Now in Gerald's Game, a couple's intimacy in a secluded cabin turns downright strange when one is left dead and the other incapacitated. It's so bizarre because you're diving into the latter's mind and psyche, and it is a weird and heartbreaking place to be. So I won't give it all away, but I will say it is a great choice for a Halloween book. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it. Number 3, Into the Light by Aleatha Romig. Now, I talked about this book once before on my blog Forward Scribes back in 2016. It's actually one of the first reviews I think I did there, as well as the first time I read this author. Have you ever had to turn on all the lights while you were reading a book? Or have you jumped and screamed or yelled at the pages while you were reading, like you would at a scary movie? I did all of those things at Into the Light from beginning to end. The story is phenomenal. It's told from 3 viewpoints and no one is who they seem. I already reviewed this one, so I won't give too much away. If you hadn't read it, I'd recommend you get it. Into the Light is a tale of the consequences of taking your personal beliefs too far. So if you're in the mood for a scary book, you should definitely pick this one up. It will deliver, I promise you. Number 2, You by Carolyn Kepnes. Now that the series is out on Lifetime, I have a much greater appreciation for the book. I really tried to get into the TV series, but if I'm going to watch a TV series, I want to be able to root for someone. And in this series, Beck is so moronic and stupid that it's less funny and more infuriating at this point. Her friends are highly obvious users and or stalkers, and Joe, of course, is a stalker. And he and her friends have all the subtlety of a bulldozer to the point where you wonder how Beck is so shocked at everything. The book, on the other hand, was different with the illustrated personalities because everything it was more subtle and left a lot to the imagination. Like, for instance, in the book, Beck was absent-minded, selfish, manipulative, but she had a little bit of common sense. She was smart. Joe was more clever and less like a lovelorn little boy who seemingly doesn't know right from wrong yet. So basically, the book is a great choice for Halloween, and for because the scares in it are just cunning and subtle, you can understand why and how each character is able to do what they do, and how the other party can get caught up without even realizing it. So before I get to number 1, there are a few honorable mentions you might want to check out if you haven't already. The Murders in the Rue Morgue by Edgar Allan Poe. Now this one only didn't make my list because it's a short story rather than a novel. However, it is the first modern detective story, and it's cited as the influence of characters such as Sherlock Holmes and Hercule Poirot. It's genius and it's frightening all at once. So, classic Edgar Allan Poe, and it's definitely worth checking out. The Whispering Room by Dean Koontz. Now, I bought this not too long ago, so I haven't read it yet, and I'm a tiny bit ashamed to say that I haven't read a Dean Koontz book in a while. But that will change, which is the reason I added this to the honorable mentions list. Because, he never lets you down with thrills, so this is going to be amazing. The President is Missing by James Patterson and Bill Clinton. I only didn't add this one to my top 5 because I haven't started it yet. I got it shortly after BookCon this year, and like any good book addict, I keep getting more books before I finish the ones I already have. But, I'm working on my problem. But from what I've heard, if you like political thrillers or just thrillers in general, you might want to look at this. And I myself am looking forward to reading it as well. And my the top of the 5 books that you might want to check out is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Now, this is both my absolutely favorite author and all-time favorite book because it was the first time I read a book from Mary Shelley's time period by a woman that wasn't a romance. And it is instead this very thrilling and suspenseful tale of Dr. Frankenstein and his terrible and often sympathetic monster that truly does curdle the blood and speed up the heart. So if you are looking for something that is going to scare you this Halloween, get this. Absolutely get this. If you don't have it yet, I don't care what time of the year it is, get it. You really need to get it. So that's all for this week's episode of 100 Lit. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can check out some of these reads in the link below. Right now, I'm reading Adventures of a Vegan Vamp by Kate Lawley. So if you want to follow along, or you like this episode, or you got something to say, go to queenjreads.com and like or subscribe there. Or you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at queenjreads. So until next time, enjoy your weekend and enjoy the books that bring you life.